Also, dear friends, very important statements were made today by Director of Russian Federal Security Service, FSB, according to whom British special forces are directly participating in operations against Russia. Let me give you some specifics on that. So, the British Army's Special Air Service, so-called S.A.S, is directly involved in the combat operations against Russia. This was stated by Alexander Bortnikov, director of the Russian Federal Security Service, FSB, and the chairman of the Council of Heads of Security Agencies and the Special Services of the CIC member states. We have some quote here. So special forces of the British Armed Forces, S.A.S, are directly involved in the fighting, Bortnikov said on Tuesday at the 57th meeting of the Council of the Ministers of the Russian Federation in Samarkand. Council of the Ministers of not just Russian Federation, but CIS organization. CIS is, of course, Commonwealth of Independent States. These mechanical translations sometimes do some crazy stuff, of course, and obviously veterans of our community are not surprised to hear this news that head of Russian FSB is directly saying that British S.A.S is participating in operations against Russia, because I have reported quite a number of times before about losses among British special forces, not just S.A.S, but also Special Boat Service, another special force of British criminal regime, let's say, that is deployed against Russia. If S.A.S is operating mainly on the ground, Special Boat Service is in charge of all the terrorist activity of Kiev regime in the southern sectors, including in the Black Sea, right? And already there was a number of reports about losses among these British secret services. And if you remember, at one point, even former head of Russian PMC Wagner, Prigozhin, stated that during the exchange of bodies of the killed military personnel, Russian side, Wagner PMC, basically transferred their bodies of their S.A.S members to Kiev regime side, and those S.A.S those killed S.A.S fighters then probably were transferred to UK. I guess this is pretty much classified information in UK, and locals, British citizens, probably have no freaking idea that their military is actually directly participating in war against Russia, and are dying as a result, to say the least, right? Also, dear friends, when it comes to involvement of UK in all sorts of provocations and hostilities against Russia, all sorts of criminal terrorist activities, head of Russian FSB, Bortnikov, also went to say that it's not just British militaries, S.A.S, for example, that is participating in hostilities against Russia, direct hostilities against the Russian militaries, but British secret services also are planning to destroy Turk Stream pipeline. This is the report that you see right now on your screen. RIA Novosti is reporting about it. Let me give you some details. So Russia has received information about preparations of a sabotage against the Turkish Stream gas pipeline. FSB Director Alexander Bortnikov stated, "We have information that British, together with the Ukrainian intelligence services, are preparing sabotage against the Turkish Stream gas pipeline," he said. Furthermore, instructors from the British Army's S.A.S Special Forces and the British intelligence agency MI6 planned a series of drone strikes against the Caspian Pipeline Consortium, whose shareholders include companies from Russia, Kazakhstan, and United States, Bortnikov said. And well, I have no reason to doubt this report of Bortnikov. Of course, United Kingdom is a major enemy of Russia. British aristocracy, by the way, I'm talking about British aristocracy, British royal family, British political class is a major enemy for Russian people and the Russian Federation, everything Russian. This is historically accurate statement, and this hostility of British elites towards Russia dates back, I mean, centuries at this point, right? And well, I guess if they have plans to destroy Turkish pipeline, they will do it, because it is almost impossible to secure this pipeline completely 100% at the time, because we are talking about hundreds of kilometers of pipeline that goes under the Black Sea, right, and connects stations from Russia to Turkey. And so if London has already authorized terrorist attack on Turkish pipeline, most likely they will go ahead with this and will blow up that pipeline. And no one should be surprised that they will do it, right? No one should be surprised, especially after UK orchestrated together with the US and some other enemies of Russia orchestrated terrorist attack on Russian nuclear triad. And did not face the consequences. I guess at this point, London thinks they have a green light to go ahead with any level of terrorist attack on Russia, and Moscow will do nothing about it, right? And well, one might understand why British aristocracy might think that way. They killed tens of thousands of Russian citizens and continue to do so. They are engaged in hostilities against Russia, all sorts of hostilities, terrorist attacks, and so on for many, many years, and they never faced consequences. And so why wouldn't they be emboldened, right? After UK orchestrated attacks on Russian nuclear triad, if something happened with British nuclear submarines, Vanguard-class nuclear submarines, in that case, of course, London would act a little more cautiously. And if after that attack on Russian nuclear triad, freedom fighters from Oklahoma or freedom fighters from Texas in US or Ohio attacked a US airbase and with the wire-guided drones, for example, and destroyed the 5-10 B-2 bombers, B-1 bombers, and so on, I'm quite sure US would act more cautiously. But because none of this happened, because neither US neither UK pay any price for attacking Russian nuclear triad, they are very much emboldened and will go ahead with any level of escalation with Russia, because they are quite sure Moscow will do nothing about it, right? And also, UK has banned the imports of petroleum products produced by the third countries from Russian oil. Okay, who does give them about it? TASS news agency is also reporting that, and as I just said, by the way, this so-called Operation Web, when UK and US orchestrated their attack on Russian strategic bombers on Russian nuclear triad, was orchestrated by London, right? And the FSB director says exactly that Operation Web was supervised from London. So this is factual, right? I have no reason to doubt information that FSB has on this matter. So it's accurate. Moscow knows perfectly well that it was London that was leading this operation, supervising this operation. And of course, it was US involvement also, because without CIA being informed, without Washington White House being informed, such an attack could not take place, right? Because it's a nuclear triad body. Untouchable, supposed to be untouchable, but it's not. For Americans and for Brits, it's not the case. They think they can do any level of terrorist attack on Russia, endanger any number of people, and do anything with impunity. And if we should expect anything, by the way, it's more and more attacks on Russia from London and Washington, and this will continue until we will begin striking back and bringing pain to our enemies. They have to feel pain, by the way, otherwise they would not stop. They have to feel force, because force is the only language they understand, and they have to feel pain, shocking pain, and they will stop in that case, right? And Moscow can orchestrate all of it, right? Easily, but it can talk about it to Russian president, man. He's a very kind person, right? So anyways, things might change, man. Things might change. Hello everyone, I hope you find informative and useful this short clip from main news update, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. It might help to deal with the algorithm and reach wider audience. And if you like my work in general and want to support to save this media project, you can assist through several ways. You can donate to this project through PayPal platform or Boosty, also with the crypto currencies, or you can subscribe to my Patreon page and page on Boosty, where I have quite a lot of extra content on regular basis. All the links are on this video in description box and in the pinned comment. And of course, many thanks to everyone who already helped and continues to support. Thank you.